All right. It's going to be a typical trying to squeeze 45 minutes or an hour into 30 minutes, but I remember in a board meeting, a board member, and an hour work session, and an hour and a half board meeting just tends to get long. So thank y'all for coming. I hope you had an opportunity to say hello to Dustin and Mike, wherever they're hiding back here. Yeah. So that's good. All right. So some in our room might not know that Mary Ann's mother passed away last night, so she's gone to Laurel to take care of some family stuff. But I'll ask David, if you would, lead us in a quick word of prayer, please. And we're all thankful for, we started the next 250 years, right? So I don't know how many of you other than Lou are going to be around 250 years from now. Please, pray for us. If you would rise.
Dear Lord, we raise Mary Ann's family up tonight. Be with them in a special way. Give them some peace and understanding. Just be with their family. Dear Lord, be with us during this special session, this work session, and then our meeting later. Help that all the discussions and decisions and actions taken will be pleasing in your sight and be beneficial to the citizens of Brandon. Continue to bless this community. In your name we pray and give thanks. Amen. Amen.
Please be seated. We'll go forward with our flag here in just a few minutes when we start the board meeting. And it was a great 4th. We did have one house fire that we worked through with no injuries, sadly to say. No other injuries or fires that I'm aware of, Chief. That's the only one, that house fire it's the only one that I'm aware of. Okay. All right, so this is going to come at you quick. If you would get your pens out, and I mean, if we need to stop, we will. So if it's important, we'll stop and talk about it and get clarity for everyone before we keep going. And I'll just keep on, I'll pick this back up after we get started after 6 o'clock. So long list of things, you should have that in front of you. I think we tried to get that out earlier today. I want to spend a minute talking about public records requests. I've been kind of pounded on that. Veterans Day, all of these are important. Some of these are just 1 or 2 slides. I noticed that when I went through the Mississippi Department of Transportation's website looking for some information, this may be 6 or 8 months ago, that I really liked their system. It was very automated. It would give you responses back. And the more we talked about it, what was going on for community development, what was going on for the clerk's office, what was going on for public works, what was going on for the police department, all kind of herky-jerky. And I thought it'd be best if it all went to one desk. So that's the purpose here. So we do want to get you, we'll get Mr. Baker to talk about that here in just a few minutes about fees. But we feel like Cliff spent quite a bit of time on this, building a site. It's passed the Mark Baker litmus test, so it's good to go. So we will automate, per your approval, information requests coming to us. It'll go to one desk, and that way we know we're not going to miss any, something's not going to fall through the cracks, and we'll standardize how we're going to do that, which I'm really pleased with that. So working through that, this is some of the pictures that I just took out that Cliff created. Pretty simple. The kicker is, though, that you get, once you put a request in, you get acknowledgement that it was received, and then the clock starts ticking as to when that information needs to come back to you. So I would ask that you really support this. It's a good effort. We need to clean. It's going to take us a little while to clean it up. It will go into Candace's desk in the city clerk's office, so one person will be responsible for it. And that way we've got a list of who it is, what it is. We've got some people, I had one today that hit me, that we've got some people out there that are just hitting us for public works things. For instance, they want to know what was bid and how it was bid. Can you send me a piece of the bid sheet, so I can make comparisons to everybody else in the state, kind of deal. And while it's public knowledge, we need to standardize how that comes through us. So there's a nice dashboard and that kind of thing. So y'all got any questions about what we're trying to do with public information requests to standardize it and modernize it? I think, Mark, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but on the front end, we first started talking about this, he and Jared and I, Jared Grant, it was, we really need to do this? And then the more we got into it, I think even Mark saw the the need and the necessary to have it to standardize what we do and handle things in an appropriate way. Mark, you got anything you want to talk about fees right quick? Is your microphone on?
Yes, so the fees are all based on, as much as we can, actual costs, because that's what the law requires. And so when you see like a USB or you see a CD, and I appreciate Mary Ann and Becca and Tracy and Beth help work through that. So those are like, we've all looked at those, and those are our actual costs. When you charge search time, you have to charge for the time for the employee that's making the least amount of money they can do the job, so to speak. And you can't, so we've done that. That's how we focus on that. Our IT guys are just at cost. So if we have to hire tech source to do something, we get, for example, we had a request, there's a lawsuit going on, doesn't involve us, but it does because it involves a city issue, but it's really, we're not in it. And they asked for emails. The search came back and there were 4,000 emails. Okay, so we said, okay, well that's great, but we got to hire tech source to go through each of these emails to pull them based on your text chain. And anyway, and so they ultimately refined their search, as you might imagine, but we would have charged those out at cost. This will have all of the requests coming through the website portal. You'll be directed to the portal, period, end of story. You're not going to deliver a request in person, or you're not going to mail it, you're not going to email it, you're going to use the portal. Now, we do provide that if the portal's down, you can communicate with the clerk's office, and she will give you a way to do that, and that'll be through the website or something like that. But, and I've confirmed with Tom Hood at Ethics Commission, our job is to make sure that there's a mechanism and a means whereby they can submit a request, but we don't have to provide all mechanisms and all means by which a request is submitted. In conjunction with this, I will ask you to adopt an ordinance that implements the order and the policy that were provided, and the ordinance just revises our current section 2.1. Candidly, I didn't draft that until I knew that this was a go. Other than that, I can tell you we've been working up to this for some time because Candace will be point, but Beth has been point, and it has worked out. We're sending out our estimates, our department heads all know the requests come in. There's a functioning process when you get something from the clerk's office, say the PD, they know to put that through the channels and get that information back within a time. What we do now is everybody pays. There were occasions if it was a quick deal, sometimes we just say whatever, but for example, the gentleman that the mayor mentioned about requesting the information, he does it every week. I mean, it's every week, 2 or 3 times. There's nothing wrong with it, but when you charge them $3.65, which is the time it takes to pull it and do it, whatever, that tends to reduce the requests, even at that. And so, not that we're trying to make it difficult, but taxpayers, it's their time and their money. So, other than that, if you see anything in the policy you don't like, we kind of went ahead and set forth some of the things that tell people that, these are not public records, so they know. We get a lot of requests for things that are just personnel files. We don't produce public records. Candidly, unless it's involving an accident, like where a police officer comes up, we tend to object to body cam and stuff like that because that is a training that kind of shows our methods involved in that. So there are a lot of things we're careful about, but we're telling the public on the front end, hey, oh, by the way, these are all things that may not be public records, so you might want to craft your request accordingly, and that's about it.
All right.
I will say Tom Hood looked at it. He must like it because 3 city attorneys have called me and said, hey, can I have your form that Tom says we need to start using? I said, no, we haven't even adopted it yet. So, I don't know the answer to that question. That is a good question, but no, and I'll tell you why. I mean, they ultimately may be able to, but they can't pay in advance because we have to take the request. Candace then has to provide an estimate as to the cost to prepare the request. They then have to pay that, and then we do the work. So I don't know.
Are we not sending an invoice through that, or look at something like that?
All that be done through here. In other words, just the estimate goes back to this.
Yeah, I'm saying as an invoice.
IT guys will know better than I do. I'm assuming.
Is that a yes?
That would be a
What do you say?
That's a Jared question.
We can reach out to Jared.
And I think it's a great idea, which is all the communication stays in one spot. And that way we pop back a thing and it says, here's your estimate for the work. We've received your estimate. Within a few days, we're going to send you we received your request. Within a few days, we're going to send you an estimate. When you pay that, we're going to start searching. So yeah, that all should be in the portal. Good idea. Thank you.
Okay.
I guess one comment a little bit about that. I looked that over and I was reading it, and I support it. I think it's going to streamline things. The only caveat to that is I was just wanting to make sure we're not creating like a digital barrier for some folks that may not be great with computers. So can we find a way that maybe we have a computer there or an iPad there or something like that? If somebody can't figure out how to use this, that they maybe could come in and somebody could kind of help them out, show them out just a little bit.
I mean, they could certainly contact, and we do provide a means whereby they can contact the clerk's office. I can tell you, and I think I'm safe on saying this, but 100% of our public records requests now come in online.
Okay.
We don't get any walking in the door unless they had emailed it and said, hey, I don't know if you got my email or not. So converting them from, because our form's online. So they get that and then they tag it and they send an email. But now we have, oh, by the way, we have created an actual email address for this. And so, anyway, so I don't think there's going to be a problem, but if there is, they can communicate with the clerk's office and we're going to get it figured out. 100%, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Veterans Day program, put that in here. I put on your desk, I gave you a handout like this. It's got the door prizes, and on the back side is those individuals that helped support the fireworks that we had Friday night at Freedom Fest. And that's really the same thing. It's a placeholder. So when people donate for things like that, that money really just is a funnel that goes through to whatever function that is. Same way with Veterans Breakfast. Somebody makes a donation, it goes through, and we just need a mechanism on our side to pay out when those donations come in. So that's what I'm asking about, just getting ready for Veterans Day. We're getting ready for, what you looking
Will
at,
we
Mark?
spread this on the minutes tonight, this fireworks sponsor, so we have that?
We can.
Okay.
No different, and we're gearing up for Christmas already and Veterans Day, and toward the end of the year. It's happening quick. You better get ready. So that's the next question I've got for you, is when do you want to have the Christmas parade? Now, forever, we did it the first Friday in December. Always. Then all of a sudden, Brandon High School football team was in state playoffs 3 out of 4 years, and it was, we're going to shift it to Saturday. We're going to do, what are you going to do? Blah, 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 blah. So then we moved it to the second Friday in December. Well, now I've got emails from the middle school and the high school band directors that they'd really like us to move it from that Friday because they have competitions that they go to. They want to continue going to those competitions. I don't disagree. So my question to you is, we don't have to answer this tonight, but when would you like to have the Christmas parade? You know, I can always say in the past, if you had it on the 4th or the 5th, that's really 4 weeks away from Christmas. You know, that's kind of early, like the week after Thanksgiving, you're having a Christmas parade. I don't know, just always want to be first, I guess. But you could have it on the 19th, the 18th. You could have, we talked about having it on Saturday night. Talked to Chief about that as opposed to a Friday night. That way you've got all that work traffic that's not around. I don't know the impact that would have on schools. But I would like some feedback from you, and I'm going to ask the Mayor's Youth Council for some feedback from them here in a few weeks when we get together. So if you think Saturday's good, I'd like to hear that. And then it's going to be which Saturday, the 12th or the 19th. If you think it needs to stay on a Friday, that's okay too. You just need some unity of thought, and would appreciate your giving that a little thought, okay? So it'll be here before we know it. North Street started off, is going to be closed for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's nobody's fault. It's not that contractor's fault. It's that rotten. So I showed y'all, you know, we talked about doing a cure in place project in Crossgates and showed you all those pipes that were collapsing. Same thing here. You've had multiple repairs. There's cast iron stuff, there's concrete stuff, there's PVC stuff. Matthew, if I'm talking out of line, you correct me out. So it's just junk on top of junk, and it's collapsing. They can't even cure and place it without it collapsing. Can't run a jet through it. So they're just having to take it one piece at a time. So I guess it was really a burst pipe, should have been a burst project all the way through.
We priced it that way, it was just outrageous.
Okay, well, so they're working through it. Really no major impact except those people that live on Diamond Street and Emerald in there. But please bear with us. They're doing what they can and doing a good job, I think. You want to add any more to that?
I would add that we're fixing, we got one last point of fair rate, if we can't get through it, we're gonna get a price to sort of replace the rest of it from that side.
Okay, all right.
So what's the realistic timeframe now? About 3 or 4 more weeks, or?
I would anticipate so, but no more than 48 hours.
All right, so you're not talking on a microphone. Question was realistic time frame. So he'll know more in 48 hours. We can let you know and let the people know.
Yeah, I'll know more in the next 2 days once we try to put a camera back in there. And if we can't get in there, I'm gonna get a price from them. If it's realistic, bring it to y'all at the next meeting just to dig it up and replace it from there back south.
And it's not as easy as digging up three or 4 feet down. They're down
It's 10 foot
16,
deep.
18 feet in some places, you know?
Yeah, on the north end it is 16 plus, but on the south end where we're at right now is about 10 plus. So, I mean, you tear up the whole road.
All right. Long overdue needing to get done, so we're getting it done. That's the picture you see here on the right. They're down deep like that. Superior Asphalt got our bid. Bid came in at $2,690,430. 4 bidders. Would normally, if we had done this in December, early January, there'd probably been 6 or 7 bidders. Some of the ones that we're most familiar with aren't on this list. That's because they've already got work stacked up. So we will not ask you to award this yet until we get our next check through the House Bill 1 money, infrastructure modernization money, which we believe will come in at $1.1, $1.2 million, and then we'll have enough to rock and roll. So I anticipate we'll be asking you to award this at our next board meeting. On here also, you see alternate 1, which is $176,000. We do not have to do that. This was Matthew and I trying to work through this in Corey Park. I would suggest to you that is a chip and seal, where you put a piece of asphalt down, wet, then you cover it with rock and you put more on top of it. You've been on country roads a lot. You know, that's a chip seal project. So we've talked about doing that in there in some places. It's about 2 miles worth, except for the 3 hills that we've put asphalt trying to get up and down before. We can pay for that out of the 2%. So I'd like y'all to think about that too, in the park, that we would have a good improved surface, reasonably good, even though it's chip seal. It'd be an all-weather road, and I'd like to consider doing that. So I'd like you to be thinking in those terms as well. All right, let's see. So we might spend a few minutes working on this one. So we had 1 bidder on the MOST grant. Now that's a 50-50 match grant. It's might as well say $400,000 through the Mississippi Outdoor Stewardship Trust Fund, which means you don't get any of that money. You don't get $5 unless you spend $5. The other side about these grants, we're putting 1 to bed. This is the second one. We got 1 more to go, which will be down here behind the library. But we can use our work and our materials and what we do here. So we're adding up. If you've been out there, you've seen the ground's been chewed up, ready to go, took up the asphalt. Another thing we could add to this is water line, sewer line. That's work that we can do. All of that adds up, and that can be part of our match. So when you get up to 900,000 though, if you look, and I left you a handout, which you've got in front of you, it's got everything that went out there that was put out as bids. It's a lot of signage, wayfinding signs in there. It's got the blue danger lights if somebody's in trouble to bring them in, and that would go straight to the police department. We've had conversations about that before. We've got a nice structure with 2 bathrooms in it. We reduced it from 4 to 2, and the emergency poles, we think. So if you look at that last page, that was the cost breakdown of what was anticipated when Inga put this together. So it was anticipated to be 661, and it came in at 910 with 1 bidder. So Matthew and I have gone back and forth, and Matthew, we've had some conversation with some of the board members about what we feel like we need to do. My observation is one of 3 things. We can either go forward with it, and we can build as much of match through matching kind of what we can do, supplement the rest of that with 2% monies, and we can build the whole thing that you've got in front of you, this whole schmear, which is really nice. I got a lot of quick people asking me about that. Or we can throw that bid out and we can narrow it down and just get down to the picture that you see in front of you with the restroom and check-in station, maybe a sign at the road, and just go with that. Do away with the safety signs out in the park, do away with the wayfinding signs, and reduce it down and rebid it. So I'm kind of torn between those two. You can pipe in and say what you think. Matthew, you want to speak to this in any way, shape, form, or fashion?
Yeah, I would say that this project does include the sign out in front of the park, which we could pull that out. That was a fairly expensive item, the big wayfinding sign going in the park, but the wayfinding signs within the park themselves, we had them separate because the city was going to order those and we were going to put them in ourselves. So that's kind of a separate piece. The blue lights, the mayor's talking about, the blue like call buttons, those are in this project. That is something that could be pulled. And we've spent several days talking to the contractor and the architect trying to figure out ways to save some money. And, you know, it's like 10 grand here and 20 grand there. It's not like we're going to save 100. Like, I couldn't find that magical. The lights works. The traffic, the warning lights were expensive. I got the bid tab here.
So we don't have to make a decision on this tonight either. We can put this off for 2 weeks, just like with the streets, and I'd like you to think about what you would like to see out there. So if you give us some input, we can make that decision in 2 weeks as well when we award the
So
street.
if we change the scope, do we still receive the grant?
Yes.
Or if we
We got to
deduct
stay within
some
the, we got to stay within the confines of what our grant was. The other thing that I mentioned to the mayor, and if y'all want to put this off for 2 weeks, it works well. They, the grant group, Wildlife Fisheries group that puts this on is having a board meeting next Monday. They said if I get the paperwork in by 8 o'clock in the morning, we could request some additional funds. Well, not we get them, I don't know. But we were talking like asking for 100 grand. Like the mayor said, if they give us 100, you got to spend 100. But we can ask if you want.
Okay.
And give you 2 weeks to think about it and see what.
All right, we got 10 minutes left, Matthew, so I'm fixing to rock on. All right,
Thank
so y'all got any questions about the grant? Now, this is the only one we've been caught. The first one we did, a little difficult to explain, but this is what we had federal monies through MPO on Marquette Road, and we had a MOS grant, state money. So we used one as the match against the other, so we didn't have to come up with any money. That make sense? Somebody, please? We're going to do the same thing down at the library. We've got an MPO project coming through that parish, and we've got a MOS grant down there as well. So we're using one to match the other. That way we won't have to come out of pocket with anything. So this is really the only one we are probably going to have to come out of pocket some on the 2%. All right, let's see. I didn't put a slide in here, but I want to talk for a couple of minutes about the Highway 80 crossover projects. I'm waiting to get feedback again on the bridge over the KCS. I'll always call it the KCS Railroad Bridge up here. Prayerfully, I'll have something latter part of this month on that, but I've been pushing Matthew to get this project going, which is the 4 crossovers. It's a $4 million job, if I remember right, 4 million plus. The 4 crossovers up and down Highway 80. Hope to get that out for bid in the latter part of September. Award that in October. They probably wouldn't really start on it till you came out of the holidays, depending on who gets it. But so anyway, so that one's just around the corner. And we'll talk more in just a few minutes about the grant that we were made aware of that we got on Highway 80 from College Street down to the interstate. So I began to talk about all these things, and I don't know how I'm going to talk about them, but I need to keep talking about them because the potential is here that you would have orange barrels on Highway 80 from Cross Gates Boulevard all the way through to College Street with 3 different projects going on. The bridges, because they're talking about taking one down, putting one in its place, putting another one in before they get up. To me, that's going to take them twice as long. But they're fearful of traffic, and they're just going to be, it's going to be changes. But it's all safety oriented. You can tell everybody, every bit of this on Highway 80 is safety oriented. All right. Matthew, you got anything else you want to say on any of these as we adjourn this work session? Board, you got any questions for me on any of those?
Information on number 2, the Veterans Program speaker.
Well, we're gonna do it like we did last year. I don't have a name, I don't have a speaker for you yet.
Okay.
But it'll be, we're thinking the same theme as last year, to where there would be a sponsored dinner the night before, and they would sponsor tables. So we kind of got away from individual tickets, both for the prayer breakfast and Veterans Day, because it was just inhibitive, $5, $7, whatever. So we started sponsoring tables. So when Banks or I or you, we all sponsor table, Mr. Baker, we start sponsoring tables in there, then that's 6 to 8 places for any veteran to walk in and sit down, and their family to walk in and sit down.
So this isn't just for a speaker that morning, this is for.
We don't have a speaker yet.
Right, but,
This is to create the system where when we get sponsorships, we can't write check, 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 check from a sponsor. We lump that in, and one check comes from the city supplemented by it. So it's pass-through money. Just trying to establish that. Mark?
Mayor, on the one bid project that you're gonna take up next week, that's within the time, right? We don't have to worry about the quotes going away or the bids going away?
It is, Mark. I was gonna add, we only got one bidder on there. We did make some phone calls, do some due diligence on him, because we don't know him, and everything we got back on it was positive. So
I just didn't want to lose it.
No.
I mean, I just want to.
No, I believe we got 60 days.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but it's two. We're gonna do both of those. It'll be the asphalt, it'll be this and that.
Yes,
So
sir.
we'll have two of them.
Okay.
All right, good question, good question. What else? Got anything else? Yes, sir, got another one?
On the, well, it's work session, but it's on the agenda. It's the Trent Roads contract.
Yes.
There are 3 clauses in there we need to strike out. I'm just going, can we approve it as?
He doesn't care. Just strike them out.
I'm just going to say as we read it in, I'm just.
Yeah, but,
just got it
so
down.
I don't have to talk about that during the board meeting. He's a landscape architect, works, good guy. So my plans are to meet with him and give him 2 hours every 2 weeks. So 1 week he would come in and start on this end of town, come this way, he'll find, and I've talked to Alex about this, he'll find 3 or 4 things that are within our realm that we need to take care of. Send me and Alex an email so that we can talk about how to execute those things. So he'll see that, then 2 weeks later, he'll go somewhere else and do the same thing. So there'll just be this progression of a landscape architect in town every 2 weeks, spending 2 hours giving us feedback on the things we need to do, because things just keep getting away from us. I also want to use him for specialty things. In other words, I've got this vision underneath those live oak trees by Mazzio's that would look a significant improvement. I'd like to get a plan there and begin to execute some beautification and stuff like that. These islands that we have out on Highway 80, I've spoken with Matthew about making those raised beds, curb and gutter around those islands, so we can make those plantable beds where the crepe myrtles are and begin to put flowers and ornamentals in there and things like that. I think it would look a lot better. It would require sprinklers and that kind of thing, but I believe we can do that. Matthew believes we can do that too.
Do it piece by piece.
Do it piece by piece. So, you say piece by piece, you wish you could do the whole thing, can't afford to do the whole thing, but we're using grant money to achieve these things, just like with the signals. We started down here going that way with 4 signals, came down East Metro with 2 more, 3 more really, when you get to Cross Gates Boulevard and 80, and now we'll start on that end coming back with beautification and getting rid of the crossovers. So it's logical, but it fits the money that we have. It's just going to be invasive, whatever we do. Good? Make sense? Y'all got anything else?
I liked this most grant for the trails. I think a lot of that needs to be done, because I get hit up a lot about safety, about signs.
Yeah, we're old country boys, and you can walk out there and I can hear the interstate going. I say, all I gotta do is walk 50 yards this
Yeah,
way.
I know how to
But
get
I
out
have
of
people
here.
that come to me and go, I'm gonna get lost in here,
I'm just saying, I think it's something we need to look at,
Okay,
a
well,
lot of it, just because the fact that it's used a lot now. It really is.
I've gone by there on Saturday morning, and it'd be 16, 18 cars sitting there, they all in it. So a lot of people are enjoying it, and it's only gonna get better. So, thank you for that, and if y'all would, just talk among yourselves, but we'll make a decision, talk about more about it at our next board meeting. All right, I've got 5:59. I'm gonna close this down, and I'll head up there, and we'll get started with our board meeting. Y'all stand up and stretch your legs for a moment. You don't have to turn it off. All rise. All right, thank y'all for coming out tonight. Hope you had a happy Freedom Day. We're blessed to be in America. Amen. All right, so this evening, Alderman Chris Vincent is going to lead us in prayer, and Alderman Jerry Crane is going to lead us in the pledge. Okay?
Let's pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. Thank you for all your many blessings. We thank you for this opportunity to be here. For this community and the people here that you represent, we just ask that you be with each and every one of us as we make decisions, that those decisions are pleasing to you. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. All right, we all know around here that have been in here, we're dealing with basically 25, 28-year-old sound system, so bear with us. Hopefully we got somebody in the back of the room that's going to correct all that in the days ahead. Can you hear me in the back of the room? Can you hear me all right? Clear? Okay, all right. Okay, so we will, I don't know who I'm listening to there. Is there anyone here this evening who would like to make public comment before the board? As long as you're a Brandon resident, come on down. How are you this evening? If you would just state your name for Mr. Baker here and where you live.
It's Nikki Harvey, and I live at 119 Spring Ridge Drive. I'm going to attempt to adjust this because I wrote it for the board this morning, but was not able to give it there. As somebody who has anxiety, it triggers an anxiety attack in me every time they're doing load testing, to the point where I can't sleep because it literally rocks your core. That's from Donna. Imagine this 24/7, just say no. I can't even enjoy my yard or deck. Kathy. There's a constant noise of machinery running that is most noticeable at night when trying to sleep. Stephanie. The headlines from across America tell the same story. Living in hell, data center neighbors grapple with noise and air pollution. That's the U.S. News and World Report. Their water taps ran dry when Meta built next door. The cloud has sound, the unrelenting and unseen cost of AI data centers. Real people and communities that already have data centers with many barriers and buffers. They report doubled utility bills, constant noise, water issues, and homes that no longer can sell. Now imagine dropping that into the middle of our community where families live, work, worship, and send their children to school. This is not a typical data center, it's theirs on steroids. It will include up to 500 megawatts of on-site gas turbines. That is not server or cooling noise, that is constant ground shaking, roar, and vibration of turbines running 24 hours a day, every single day, no pauses for night, no weekends, no relief. Just ask South Haven. They describe it as excruciating. Their quality of life has been taken from them, and they're suing. I'm not really sure if everyone knows what they've done. This facility plans to consume more power than the entire county. Its lights can blind drivers at night in a highly traveled area with light pollution estimated to reach up to 10 miles. It will change how our stars look for miles in every direction. We weren't asked if we wanted this. None of us wanted this. It's dangerous, the facts are there. There are many ways to bring in revenue and jobs without sacrificing our safety and quality of life. But the choice was already made, all in the name of economic development, in the tune of 60 jobs. We're being told that we're going to accept it. So the question is, what do we do now? Will you require sound and light barriers? We want those plans to be made public, and we want the company to pay for them, not us, not directly or indirectly, not through grants or Rankin First or Rankin Economic Development, the actual company. Of course, the moratorium would be, I guess, for the county. I will be sending evidence of the dangers of this project If you choose to do nothing to protect residents, it will be clear that you acted with bad faith and reckless disregard. As JFK wrote, leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. I hope you educate yourself on what is happening in communities across the country, and I sincerely pray you start acting like the leaders our families need you to be. Again, some of that was not addressed to y'all. I do have charts here. This is the electricity demand comparison. Of course, that's the data center. And then comparison to ones that are operational right now. The megawatt capacity of ours is almost the same as one that is a campus size of 900 acres once the gas turbines are there. And then I also have a study from and an analysis on some light pollution mitigation things that can be done with the information on how to go about doing that.
All right, you gonna leave that with us, Ms.
I will.
Okay, if you would give that to Becca over here. All right. Yeah, clerk. Clerk's responsible for document. All right, thank you, Ms. Nikki. Anyone else here this evening would like to speak to the board? All right, seeing none. Set that clock. We will work on through the agenda. A couple of comments here. Attended the Mississippi Municipal League Annual Conference. There's an award here on this table. It's the first time Brandon's been recognized by that, and I do not know, bless you, sir. I do not know who the committee was. It was someone from outside of the MML family, but there are 11 different awards. There are awards made for best public works, best public safety, variety of things, and typically they choose a city less than 10,000 and then a city more than 10,000 in population to give all the small towns across Mississippi an opportunity to compete as well. So this year, Brandon was chosen as the overall winner. There's only one. That's the award there. It looks like a piece of plastic, but don't hit Chief with it, Chief, because you'll hurt him, because it's a nice award. And it speaks to the quarry trails that we have out there, and really happy about that other people outside of Brandon, outside of Rankin County are recognizing that for what it is. Another one is while we were there last week, there was an award to the city of Brandon for $24 million for the Bill grant. I find it to be very interesting. There was only 3 awards made from Congress. Half of the $50 million went to Brandon, which is kind of eye-dropping, and kind of make you sit back and go, really wow. So it'll go to Highway 80. That will go from College Street to the interstate down there, and to rebuild a lot of that, adding a lane, some pedestrian pathways and things like that. And you can see where the other 2 went. So immediately that day I heard from our senators, Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith, Senator Roger Wicker, and our local congressman, Congressman Michael Guest, to let me know that had happened. Very appreciative of that. That's just some more information about the specificity of what goes where. I want to talk for just a second, board, because we go back and forth sometimes. Audience, we contract out on keeping up with our water meters, and I think that Core and Main does an excellent job for us. Alex, you may follow along. So this was April, looking at the numbers of minor service calls and reverse flows and things like that. There is May. There's June. So I track these things too from time to time. So what I did, I combined for 90 days, and those are the numbers from the last 90 days of our customer problems. We've got over 11,000 water customers on our system, including the schools and hospital and everything else. And that's a list of those problems that we had out there. Yes, it's technology. Yes, occasionally there's a bad meter. Yes, there's occasionally one that's programmed wrong. But over 90 days to have 51 meter programming problems is pretty strong. And then you've got customer damage, trying to monkey with them, tearing them up, and these are expensive things. I think the last time I remember was $265 a piece or something like that. 268, am I off base? Double that, 468? All right. Yeah, those are the ones with remote shut off, that you can shut off from the office. City Hall, Charles and Barry are doing a good job, I think. This is the May numbers that we had of visitors here at City Hall and the amount of money that they brought in for fees. I really don't think sometimes we're charging enough for meeting space up here. This was the month of June. Now we're moving into July and the concert season. I'll tell you that the farmer's market's still going good, even on the 4th of July. You had people from as far away as Water Valley, Duck Hill, and Amite County here, Smithdale Road, that drove up here. And there was a decent turnout. They were pleased with the number of people that were out there. I would encourage you, though, if you want to go out and get fresh produce, you need to go there probably before 9:30, because everything's getting picked over relatively quick and they're selling out a lot. All right, we want to continue on now through our business agenda. Thank you for your patience in that. Board need a motion to approve the work session regular board meeting minutes of June the 15th, 2026, and the
Second.
minutes from the special call board meeting on June 19th. Now, y'all know Mr. Baker's going to make me read through those. Motion by Ms. Sharon Womack, second by Ms. Jerry Crane. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, board. All right, on the mayor. I have two modifications in this as we work through it, Mark. Number one, consideration of the reappointment of Mark Baker Esquire. I meant to put that in there. As the city attorney. As the city attorney for the city of Brandon, with the same terms and conditions as the current term, which were the same terms and conditions as the term before that, which were the same as the term before that. So, doing a good job, just don't stop. Number two, consideration to approve and authorize a loan on behalf of the city of Brandon from the Mississippi Development Authority for the purpose of purchasing one fire truck, ladder truck, in the amount not to exceed $1,250,000. The intent resolution to allow us to do that, to satisfy this loan, has been published in the Rankin County News for the required 4-week period. So, audience, we're buying a ladder truck, $2 million plus, $2.2 million. We saved half of that, and we've got this money to pay for the other half of it, and we will continue to make payments on that out of our insurance rebate monies. Number three, consideration to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute those documents and agreements required in connection with the application for a water pollution control, it says removing, but that should be revolving, typo, revolving fund loan program through the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality, and naming the mayor as authorized representative for the city of Brandon, and in here, comma, mark, permission for Benchmark to prepare all bids and necessary specifications. Need to be added in there. We hadn't done that yet, board, identifying them as the engineer.
Do we know the terms on that yet?
20 years at 0.8% interest. You can pay it off early. We've had this discussion in the past of why would you want to pay off a 0.8% interest. You know, it's relatively free money. Even a 1.5% or 2%. Why would, you know? So we did that. Jeremy, it's a great question. I tell you, one of the things the board did for several years there, anything that was 3.5%, 4.5%, 5%, 6%, we refinanced it all at a lower rate, and we're able to drive all those costs down, cut that cost off the end. So, yes.
Mayor, in that item for 20, Benchmark and your resident authorizing them to prepare the bid and specification package?
Yes. You good to go? Number four, consideration to approve a 2026 rate schedule for professional services from Trent Rhodes, landscape architect, PA, for future professional services agreements. I discussed that in the work session.
Can I add, as amended to delete Article 6A and Article 8F, G, and H?
Please.
Article 6A and Article 8F, G, and H, back in effect.
You don't need to say it one more time? Just No, I said say it again.
Article 6A and Article 8F, G, and H. You can strike through them the whole paragraph.
Excuse me. Number five, consideration to advertise in the 2027 Mississippi Tour Guide with a half-page ad in the amount of $6,050 to promote tourism in the city. Number 6, consideration to amend the Veterans Day budget line item by $12,000 to pay for a special guest. Again, audience, this is not us paying for them. This is supported with sponsorship that we will be seeking. It gives us an avenue to have for pass-through money from sponsors to support the Veterans Day program. Number 7, consideration to amend item M3, that's Mayor 3, from the regular board meeting minutes held on April the 20th, 2026, to correct a hiring effective start date from May 15th, 2026 to July 13th, 2026 for the new communications director, Mr. Dustin Hinkle, who is in the back of the room. If you would stand up so everybody can see you. And welcome aboard, sir. Appreciate you. I know you're going to be hot, looking for a place to put a roof over your head real quick. And who is that sitting by you? And you don't go anywhere without her, right? Good deal. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Number 8, consideration to hire Mike Lane as the Community Development Director, effective board August the 10th. He's going to have to relocate here from down in Orlando, August the 10th instead of July 13th, 2026, and set rate of pay in accordance with the memo. Mike, you out here? You want to turn around so everybody can see your face, please? Glad you're here. Appreciate you coming here tonight. The board had an opportunity to meet these people earlier this evening, and looking for good work out of you. All right. Let's see here. We have no shortage of work to do around here. All right. That's all under the mayor. All right. Board, with your permission, I'd like to group 1 through 8. Motion to approve Mr. Harry Williams, second by Mr. Lou Coker. Any question on any of those items? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Any opposed? Thank you, board. All right, Ms. Becca.
All right, Mark, do you want me to pause in between 2 and 3 so you can talk about them? All right. Number 1, consideration to approve a professional services agreement for the purposes of promoting tourism in accordance with House Bill 1599 and other lawful and related purposes. Authorize the mayor to execute the same and approve payment of all show-related expenditures. Emporium and City of Brandon sell-off agreement. Number 2, consideration of adopting an order approving the City of Brandon public requests policy, establishing the schedule of fees, costs, and charges for public records requests, and Appendix C, fee rates and schedules and charges.
Okay, on that one, we first, as part of that, we need to adopt an ordinance amending chapter 2, article 1, section 2.1 of the Code of Ordinances, consistent with the order approving the policy and establishing the rate schedule as presented. So you're going to adopt the ordinance, you're going to adopt the order, which adopts the policy and sets the rates and schedule. Is this online to go? Because this is effective immediately, so is everything up and running, or does it need to be effective 30 days, 15 days?
Put it effective. You can put it effective tomorrow, but, I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
like, you can put it effective
Okay,
tomorrow.
all right.
But not now. Not right now. Put it up tomorrow. Yeah.
So it'll be operational tomorrow?
Should be, yeah.
All right, number 3, consideration to approve an order enacting guidelines for the enforcement of sections 5437 and 5439 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Brandon, Mississippi regarding exempt transient vendor licenses.
We will, this one, we're actually going to probably be bringing back to you a comprehensive change on transit vendors. We've got some constitutional issues that we're dealing with. Everything's good, but we've got to update it. But this one allows Beth to just interpret like it's been interpreted, so when she issues an exempt license, there's no renewal for the exempt license. So we just need, because that's been the practice since the ordinance has been adopted. So we're just putting this policy in place consistent with the city clerk's practices.
Number 4, consideration to approve 2 invoice payments to Wagner Engineering in the amounts of $7,278 for the stream evaluation project and $12,000 for the SS4 grant application, which is the FY26 Safe Streets and Roads. Number 5, consideration to approve an invoice payment to Neil Schaefer Engineering in the amount of $3,150 for the Brandon Recreation Planning and Civil Site. Number 6, request to authorize destruction of documents in accordance with the MDAH retention schedule, which consists of vehicle files, agenda files, and bid opening files. Number 7, consideration to approve the docket of claims for July 6, 2026, and Fox Everett claims released on July 8, 2026. And number 8 is the monthly report of privilege licenses.
Mm-hmm. All right, is there a motion to approve items 1 through 7 under the clerk? Motion by Mr. David Ferris, second by Ms. Sharon Womack. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? Thank you, Ms. Becker.
Mayor, if I could I just meld into that agenda, that action by Alderman Farris, seconded by Alderman Womack, that we approved 1 through 7 and accepted 8. So the minutes bill.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just stay right there. Let's go ahead and do it right now. All right, we had donations made at the board. I gave you a list of those that made donations to support Freedom Fest and the fireworks out there, and we just need to make reference to that in the minutes and accept that as those sponsorships.
Accept the donations for fireworks from the sponsors from the memo.
Yeah, you got it right there in front. There you go.
From the sponsors as presented by the clerk or the mayor, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm
yeah,
gonna make
we're
it
doing it number 9.
Okay, that's it. Just need a motion.
Oh, we've already got it. All right, you got a motion and a second. Motion by Sheriff Coker. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, Becca.
I did.
Hello, Mr. Charles.
Good evening, Mayor, Board. Can I take these together?
Please, sir.
Number 1, request permission to remove part-time runners Tina Galano and Shonda Watkins from the city's payroll roster effective July 6, 2026. Number 2, consideration to approve the quote from Jam Pack LLC to purchase additional folding chairs and storage racks in the amount of $55,640. An additional quote was received from Mighty Incorporated in the amount of $61,545.
Great. Is there a motion to approve those 2 items? Motion by Ms. Sharon Womack. Second by Mr. Harry Williams. Any conversation, comment, question? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? Thank you. Thank you, Charles. All right, Mr. Wade, Chief. Only got 15 items tonight, huh?
Okay, let me begin with, good evening, Board, Mayor. I'd like to strike 11 from the agenda. That was the consideration to award the bid for the overlay project. We're going to carry that to the next agenda. Take 11 off there.
Yeah, and you know, when it's, be careful when we talk to them, talk to superiors, nothing wrong with the bid or anything like that. It's us waiting on the second half of the funding.
Absolutely, yes, sir. I'd like to take one by itself, if possible.
Okay?
Okay.
Please.
Is Ms. Rita Reed here tonight? Okay. One, consideration to approve or deny an adjustment for Rita Reed at 415 West Sunset Drive, apartment B13, for a water leak at her home. Board, the memo you have in front of you has been adjusted. The total amount of that adjustment was increased, and we're asking to be credited to Ms. Rita Reed's account. We increased that adjustment by $477.56. That was due to an error on our part. Her October bill actually included some of the leak that she was never aware of. If everybody remembers last board meeting when we brought this in front of them, if you need an update on the situation here, Again, Ms. Reed had a leak. She wasn't aware of that leak. Our water meters were not swapped, but in our accounting system, the meter numbers were swapped. So physically, the meters were correct, but their serial numbers were swapped in our accounting system. So that led to Ms. Rita Reed not being aware of her leak that she had, which I believe was her toilet flapper. Traditionally, and according to our policy, we would not adjust this leak. We had no way forward, so I'm coming to you, board, to make that determination. And my recommendation and my staff's recommendation is that we adjust her bill for that leak in the amount of $2,131.56.
Mr. Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at my packet, the memo moved to reference somewhere, 'cause I mean, I have the old memo with the one that came out later. That's okay, I'll get those.
No, that's the exact same memo, but I can,
No,
oh,
last thing before that,
right.
so your recommendation is the last thing you're carrying forward is back to the second, we want to make this second. But that's what, that,
We want to make the same type of adjustment, just increase that adjustment amount.
okay.
Yep.
The total adjustment amount now is 2131.56,
Correct.
and we'll have the memo, take the file on.
Yes.
Okay.
Is this also including the payment schedule? Have we worked out the payment plan with her?
That payment plan is still in place. I will make Ms. Reed aware and the board, there will still be an outstanding balance of $526.93. That's balances from before the May to October leak. So that's balances that were outstanding from April 2025 up to when Ms. Reed initially received water service, a water account. She's been making consistent payments since we started the payment plan. So if she continues to do that, that balance should knock down pretty quickly, as her bill has gone back to essentially the minimum due after the correction. Yep.
For purposes of the record, so we're approving the water leak, 2131.56, leaving a balance of 526.93 for usage related to pre-April 2025 activity. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And reconnection fees and late fees and things like that. That was an outstanding balance she had. Yeah, service. Yeah.
Ms. Rita, do you have any words or comments?
Okay. Let me pull up my notes here.
Good evening.
Good evening. Where is the $500 balance that he's talking about coming from? Explain it a little better.
Okay, so from October 2023 to April of 2025, before the leak, your outstanding balance was $297.39. The entire period of the leak, we've adjusted back to your average, which we calculated to be $41.14 about. So those months, you still had you still were accruing a charge because you were receiving water. So from May to October, you were billed the average, which was
Like
$41.14, I believe, Carly? Yeah, somewhere around there. I'll get you the exact number, but no more than $42. And then after October, of course, you're still receiving a bill. So you've made several payments, and we calculated those, and those accounted for your usage from October till now, I think less $18. So you made a couple of additional payments, a couple of payments that weren't keeping up with your current charges. So that got you to this amount $526.93. That includes, I believe, in between October 25 and now, you had a disconnect, so that includes a reconnection fee. That includes a late fee almost every month from the outstanding balance.
How much is the late fee every month?
5% or
It's
10%.
I think $5. I remember the $5.
Okay. Yeah. So because your bill's the less than the 10%, it's $5. So that would, and we can, you're welcome to come to the office any day and we can break it all down. I mean, if I'd be here all night if I went into the particulars of the outstanding balance. But,
I'm sorry, but I'm just not agreeing with the outstanding balance. If my water bill is $41 per month, even with $5 late fees, it wouldn't be $500.
Well, I
And
don't
then
know.
she's
I
saying
haven't
a
reviewed that.
reconnect fee, the reason it was turned.
But if you missed some and you had some cutoffs where you didn't pay, then that would double the next month and double again the next month.
The only time my water was cut off was when the $2,600 was applied to the bill. She's saying it wasn't cut off for that reason, but for $41 a month, even if I went 2 months, they wouldn't cut your bill off for $80, for $80 balance. So the reconnect fee happened when I came home and the water was off. That's the only time my water has been off.
All right.
Can we address this and then y'all discuss that? Because we don't know anything about what he's looking at.
I don't understand it either.
Ms.
What
Rita,
he's looking-
I looked at some numbers just top of my head, but I think that's a good idea to get with Alex. But the 500 and something, it was 200 and something dollars that led up before the leak, okay? And then there was another 200 and something dollars that's accumulated since the leak was found and all that. Is that correct, Alex? And that's what
Yeah,
makes
that's
up that
right.
500 and something dollars.
right.
Okay?
So-
But I think they can sit down with you and look at it on paper and show you where exactly, where it all comes from.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
This week?
We can do it
Maybe
this
we
week.
do it tomorrow, if you have
available
time, Ms.
tomorrow?
Reed. But I'd like to schedule something with you. It depends on your schedule.
Okay. Thank y'all.
You gonna get scheduled this week sometime?
Yes, I want to schedule it this week because I'm tired.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you. All right.
Okay.
Board, I've been through this one time in my neighborhood where there was a cutoff. Employee went out there and cut the wrong meter off. Yeah, my ears are still burning, several years ago. Anyway, so it happens. Human error, when your hands are in it, there's an hour there. Jared, you got something to say?
I just want to make a motion to approve $2,131.56.
You got the number? You ready? All right, so we got a motion by Ms. Jerry Crane. Go ahead. And second by Mr. Luke Coker. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. All right, you on to number 2?
Yes, can I take 2 through, I guess that would be
Mr. Baker says everything.
14 since,
15, you want to take 2 through 15?
yeah, let's 2 through 15.
So when we get to, board, let's go ahead and talk about it. What number is that, Mark?
Let's,
When we get to 13, Mr. Baker is wondering why we can't put a not-to-exceed number on the concrete crushing, a dollar amount. So Board, this is out there on Marquette Road. I was telling Alex today, I think this is the 7th time we've crushed rock and concrete. You get these big piles, you say you're never going to use all that, and you wake up one day and it's all gone. But we're crushing concrete for $7 a ton. We're crushing concrete for $7 a ton. If we had to buy it,
12.
we'd be buying 12.
Yes. Yeah.
If we had to buy it, it would be $38 a ton for 610 limestone. He says 13. Yeah, it's 14.
Absolutely.
14.
Okay.
Yeah, you took out number 11.
2, consideration to approve the utility adjustment approvals and denials pursuant to the memo. 3, consideration to hire Stephen Mason as a facility maintenance technician effective July 7th, 2026 at the rate pursuant to the memo pending completion of all pre-employment requirements. 4, consideration to approve pay request 1 in the amount of $92,266.09 from McInnes Systems for the Apple Ridge Lift Station on-site generator project and authorize payment of the same. 5, consideration to approve pay request 3 in the amount of $34,312.10 from BLD Services for the 2024 Diamond Emerald Sewer Rehabilitation Project and authorize payment of the same. 6, consideration to approve pay request 2 in the amount of $10,573.50 from Jose Sierra Construction for the Cornerstone Drive Storm Drain Pipe Replacement Project and authorize payment of the same. 7, consideration to declare an emergency the repairs to the Lake Bend Well Number 1 located 11 Crosswoods Road pursuant to the memo. 8, consideration to declare emergency the repairs to the Kane Well located at 200 Kane Circle pursuant to the memo. 9, consideration for the following regarding the Richland Creek Lift Station. That's 1, declare an emergency the repairs to the lift station, and 2, approve the invoice 8282 in the amount of $50,249.51 to Harvey Services for those emergency repairs. 10, consideration for the following regarding the Ellington Court Lift Station. Additional invoices will be received for this lift station once the repairs are completed. That's 1, declare emergency the repairs to the Ellington Court Lift Station, and then 2, authorize or approve invoice 8285 in the amount of $7,000 from Harvey Services for the replacement of the first pump at the lift station and authorize payment of the same. Let's see, 12, consideration to accept, I guess that would be 11. 11, consideration to accept and award the following term bids as advertised and bid and awarded by Rankin County. The commodity prices for the listed items are effective now through December 31st, 2026. 13, consideration to approve the quote from Eagle Pipe and Supply in the amount of $7,061.14 for materials to install a new 6-inch water line along Marquette Road south of the railroad tracks.
Right.
We received a second quote. Labor will be performed by City of Brandon employees.
All right, we're going to stop right there.
Yep.
Let's take all the, okay. Well, I got part of an answer for you on the next one. All right, you got something above that?
Alex, the 2 emergency repairs, the one for Lake Bend and the one for Kane?
Yes.
Well, you don't have the information yet, so at the next meeting or whenever, you're going to bring the service, the invoices and all that stuff, right? Is that
Correct.
what you're saying?
Correct.
And then, and so I'm just going to note in the minutes, you know, because we've done this before, we're just make
Right.
sure it's spread, it's the amount, it's the service provider, blah, 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 all that good stuff.
Yes, sir.
And then the other one is some of that you have and some of that you don't, the Ellington Court, correct?
Correct.
Okay, got it. And I've just got the minutes to reflect that. Okay, that's all I have on those.
All right, Board, so we're going to take 2 through 13 with 11 being struck from that for the next board meeting. That's fine. We got off on this last time, renumbering things and threw us all in a tizzy. All right, so is there a motion to approve on your agendas, Board, 12 and 13? 2 through, got a motion by Mr. Lou Coker. Second, Mr. David Ferris. Any question on any of those? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you. All right, on number 14, Harry, you're right, let's take that one. What I'd recommend doing is taking a tonnage, because it's, we get a reading really every day, every other day. We can go back and get a reading if we want, but we give a report to the board. Let's just say that the world implodes and all of a sudden Argentina invades and we have zero money in the bank. We'd want to stop that. That makes sense. So we need to be making repetitive reports to the board about where we are on tonnage, and we can do the math and say, this is how much has been spent to this date. And if the board wants to stop it, they can stop it at that point. What's that sound like?
Back to what your question. Let's just open it.
Yeah.
Not back every 2 weeks. You can try it out and see $100,000, and if you're at that number, you've got to
Put it on the agenda.
So is this more or less than the previous times that we've done this?
It's the exact same.
No, what,
It was-
he's talking about the volume.
Oh, volume.
It's concrete.
Oh,
I'd say it's
uh,
probably pretty much the same as
Yeah,
last
no.
time. It's spread out more, it's not piled up as much as it was last time.
Is there an expected expense number? Ballpark?
I believe last time, they crushed the total amount,
right.
was 77,000.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Why don't-
77,000.
I don't know what that number is. We can put that number in the minutes tomorrow. We can look up what we did last time and use that volume, that number.
Not to
Say that
exceed.
It matches that number last time, not to exceed what we did last time. And if it does, then we'll come back and say, do you want us to keep going?
There you go.
This is the budget item. You got a budget issue. What budget? That's what you're really trying to do, right?
Well, it's not a budgeted item.
It's in a budget somewhere.
You don't know what you're going to crush until you get it out there. So it's contractual labor. Look, this is the seventh time we've done it. This is not rocket science. We did
If
it.
you do 80,000 at 12,
Mhm.
960,000.
Yep.
So just not to exceed $1 million, you make it simple. $1 million, well, that's what it is. If they did 80,000 tons, well, that'd be 8,000. Well, you said 80, you said 77. $12.
No, that wasn't tons. I'm sorry, that was dollars. Yeah, $77,000 was our.
That caught you.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot.
I'd say whatever we did last time, not to exceed that.
Okay. I mean,
All right.
so
Throwing darts at the wall. You catch good weather and they rock and roll. I don't know. Well, I tell you what, let's just put 100,000 down there. And if I need to call a special call board meeting and rock on, then we'll call a special call board meeting and rock on. Good?
Okay, so consideration to approve the professional service agreement with Sunbelt Crushing LLC for concrete crushing at the rate of $12 per ton, not to exceed $100,000, and authorize the mayor to execute the same.
You good with that? Mr. Baker? All right. And we got one more item. Oh, we got one more item here, number 15 or 14 on your list. Permission to declare the listed City of Brandon equipment as surplus and authorize sale at auction through Gov Deals pursuant to the memo.
Yes, 15, permission to declare the listed City of Brandon equipment as surplus and authorize the sale of the auction through Gov Deals pursuant to the memo. It's the final item on our Public Works.
Okay, is there a motion to approve those two items? Motion by Mr. Chris Vinson, second by Mr. Harry Williams. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, like sign? Thank you, board. Thanks, Chief. Yes.
Yeah, I'm covering down for Joey tonight, or Community Development, sorry, not Joey, he's no longer with us. Yeah, Mike, that's right. You want to trial by fire here?
Give it to Mike.
Okay, I'll take one and then two separately. Let's do it that way. Okay. One, consideration to receive and file the Planning Commission minutes dated May 26, 2026. That's accept, yeah.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. All righty. Number two.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
This is the,
Yeah, do you want me to read? Okay.
so this is the matter of putting up a 111 Alicia Bay Drive, which is tax parcel J81043. It's PPIN 056509.
Yes.
And Cassie, where's Cassie at? Don't be far away. You might want to come on up. Can you advise the board as to whether all the prerequisites to the public hearing have been met?
Yes, they
Okay,
have.
notice as required by 211911 was mailed and posted as required by law?
Yes.
Is that right? And did the Community Development Department prepare a memo with regard to this matter with attachments? And are you asking that that memo be incorporated and included in the minutes of the public hearing?
Yes.
Have either of you had any communication with the owner of the property and the person who was given notice with regard to the condition of the property?
I spoke with the owner today at 2:21. I spoke with the owner today, Ms. Verna Roberts, at 2:21 p.m. She asked if the meeting was today. I did confirm that it was. She said that she would not be able to come, but she would send Mr. Donald Hall, who is also an owner of the property.
Okay. Can you generally describe for the board why we're here tonight, Alex and/or Cassie?
Yes, so we're here because the property at 111 Alicia May Drive, in its current condition, is a menace to public health, safety, and the welfare of the community.
Okay. And for purposes of edification of the board, Cassie, can you give the board a general synopsis of the matters and things that have brought us here today? I know there's a lot of things going on, but if you could summarize generally how that process worked and how we got here, and then describe for the board what they're seeing in the photographs that were presented by you by the department, or by you mainly, in the memo to the board.
Yes, sir. 3 years ago, Public Works received a work request that the grinder pump at this residence was not working properly. When the city workers arrived to do some work on that, they were unable to reach the grinder pump in the backyard due to the accumulation. They contacted code enforcement to come in and have a look at the circumstances, and that's when I first met Ms. Verna Roberts and Mr. Donald Hall. I discussed with them the circumstances, the accumulation, that how dangerous it was to have that much. I was then informed that Ms. Verna Roberts had fallen recently and broken her hip. The fire department had to go out there and pick her up out of the yard. They had trouble accessing the yard because of all the accumulation. The house was in disrepair then. There were tarps and things on the roof. I spoke with Verna and Donald then that a process needed to be started to start cleaning up the property and making repairs to the home. Over time, little steps were made to clean things up, and then they would just go back. After about the first year, I saw that we weren't really getting anywhere, so I wrote tickets to both property owners and took it in front of Judge Adams so that she could work with them on getting a time frame set up that they could work with. After some time visiting in her courtroom, talking with her, reporting to her, It eventually got to a point where they were coming weekly because progress was not being made, repairs were not being done. And then the end of May this year, it was noticed that a section of the roof had collapsed. There's no trees or anything around this residence that something would fall on it and cause it to collapse. This is just simply failure in the structure of the building. I deemed it unsafe as the code enforcement manager. We condemned the structure with prohibited occupancy until the repair could be made to make the structure safe. Accumulation is still around the property. Not much has been done. On June the 17th, I asked the fire department and the police department to escort us to the residence to secure the property for the city because they had continued to live in it, even though the structure was deemed unsafe, and that is against city ordinance. As of June the 17th, the property has been secured. The meter has been removed and water has been cut off. No progress, no work has been made on the structure at this time.
Okay. With regard to the attempts at some type of remediation, was there a permit issued, and has that permit since been revoked?
Yes, sir. There was a permit issued for a roof repair replacement in the amount of $453. Our office manager was not aware of the conditions. That valuation was not accepted by our department director at that time as a proper repair, so it was revoked.
Okay. And in fact, the property was condemned, is that correct?
Yes.
That meaning that the damage to the property was such that it was uninhabitable?
Yes.
And the proposed repairs that the applicant had made, the owner, would not satisfy or not address the uninhabitability of the house, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And as I understand it, there are serious structural issues, the walls are falling in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And based on your experience, is there anything that can be done? I mean, in other words, the value of the house versus the repairs would far exceed anything remotely related to the value, is that correct?
Yes. I'm not aware of the financial circumstances of the owners of the property.
No, I'm not asking about what they can do. I'm just asking, but just from a simple view of the property in relation to what has to be done to where they could actually live in the property, based on value, it would far exceed, the repairs would far exceed the value of the property, is that correct?
Correct.
Value of the improvement. Okay. Which is one of the things we look at when we condemn a piece of property from the standpoint of being able to be repaired. Okay. Now let me ask you, in relation to, and we're going to ask for anybody that wants to provide any additional comment here, but in relation to what you're seeing, would you specifically describe for the board what your recommendation is in relation to what's there and what has to be done? So we can make sure so they can make findings with relation to that in a minute.
I would recommend that all accumulation be removed from the property by a roll-off dumpster, and I would recommend that the structure be demolished.
Okay. The structure being the residence, or what was the residence?
All structures.
Okay. How many are there?
There's a main house, and there are 2 non-permitted accessory structures in the backyard.
Okay. What makes them condemnable?
They were not permitted. They do not meet the setbacks of our zoning code. Nothing was ever evaluated or inspected on these structures.
What I'm really getting at right now, this is cleanup. And so
Yes.
from a cleanup standpoint, are those structures in a dilapidated state?
Yes.
Okay. So all the structures that are on the property, in your opinion, constitute a menace to the health, welfare, and safety of the community, and that those structures are in a dilapidated state. All of the structures on there are in a dilapidated state and should be removed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you have pictures of all of those in the file?
I do. They're all in the file, and then I have current pictures from today.
Okay. The current pictures that you have today, obviously the board hadn't had a chance to see those. Oh, okay. I'm just wanting to make sure they're consistent with what previously was shown in the record with regard to that. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't seen them, but, so we've got that, and so we've got all accumulation, and then the structures. Is there anything else that needs to be done there? What about vehicles? Are there vehicles? Are there non-operable vehicles there? And you're going to remove those. We're not doing anything with those. We're just going to have somebody haul those off and take those to the dump too, right?
Yes, sir. We would follow according to state law.
That's the perfect answer. Okay. All right. Having generally heard and you're asking that your memo with your staff report, with the case history, the property record and deed, the notes on the International Property Maintenance Code, the condemnation letter, the notice of the public hearing that you provided to the people you mentioned, posted and did all that stuff, water account usage, and you also have the abstracts from the city court with regard to Mr. Hall and Ms. Roberts. You're asking that those be included together with all of the pictures that you provided that show not only the condition of the house, but the rat droppings and just the terrible conditions that we're talking about today.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to add before we ask for anyone else that would like to provide public comment with regard to this?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Give me just a minute. I'm going to ask for some other people if there's anybody else here that wants to provide any public comment. We may get back to you if there's any questions, okay? Is there anyone else here? Is there anyone here who would like to provide public comment? I'm going to first call for Verna Roberts or Donald Hall or any representative thereof. You may come forward, sir. Hello. State your name for the record, sir.
Donald Hall, 111 Alicia May Drive.
Hey, Mr. Hall, you've generally heard the description of the situation by Ms. Burnett and Mr. Wade. Is there anything that you'd like to provide to the board with regard to the property and the condition and anything? Now's your time to say whatever you want to say.
I kind of didn't hear you too good. I can't hear that good.
Now is your time to say whatever you'd like to say. You were listening to Ms. Cassie and you were listening to Alex Wade, and if you have any comment to make with regard to that, now would be your opportunity.
Well, I'm slowly working on it because I ain't got a bunch of money. I ain't rich. I just take my time doing it because I don't get hurt. And I pulled a permit one time. My wife didn't do it right, and I pulled a second permit to work on the house. But now since that one got canceled, I think, I can't do nothing with it. I was told that I might have to have a licensed roofer, a licensed plumber, a licensed electrician come out there. The only thing I need to do is just get a dumpster out there, tear that one side down that's real bad, pull a permit for it, and finish my roof. That's what I pulled a permit for. But now they're saying that I can't go inside my house because of the roof wasn't, the structure's not right. Got a wall leaning. So I said, this just a little section, no bigger than probably where y'all sitting at. Pull a permit, tear it down, finish the roof up, get me a dumpster out there and clean my yard up, and then do my inside of my house the best I can. You know, it's going to be a slow deal with me on the inside, but I just get a dumpster and I take care of the front yard at one time.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. How come you haven't gotten the dumpster and gotten it gone by now?
Well, I'm getting the dumpster this week, and I went and got another permit to do the roof with, so we'll be able to go in and do some work in there, but they disqualified me, just said I couldn't use that permit.
Well, that's because you're doing work that requires you to have a license. You're
Not roofing, I don't think you do.
Well, you're going to impact the electrical in those walls. You can't just replace a wall.
They said the wall was leaning out. But what it is, the way the walls, I could stand there and put my hand on top of the house all the way through it, on the little side that they're talking about. It's got the outer barrel wall leaning.
Well, that's not good, right?
The only thing I can tell you is the siding wasn't nailed on there. Got vinyl siding on there, and I looked at it, and the vinyl siding's like this, and it's like that far out in certain spots, because my brother-in-law done it, and he didn't know what he was doing. Yeah.
Well, you've been, best I can tell, you've been in and out of our court, not in a bad way, because our judge has been trying to work with you, but at least since 2024 on this property. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, I've been there a while. Been there over 20 years, but The problem with another family member's wife kind of got that way.
Okay.
But I should have never let it happen. It's my fault that it happened.
Okay. So your proposal is that you're going to have a dumpster out there this week? You've already paid for it, the whole nine
No,
yards?
sir. I'm
Huh?
gonna get it this week. It will be out there by Friday.
I don't know. Okay. Who's the dumpster coming from?
I haven't sure yet. My neighbor's my boss, and me and him gonna go in on it. He's got stuff to throw away, so.
Well, now, I just got done asking you if it was all ready to go, and you said yes, sir.
It's gonna
And I
be a
said,
done
"Who's it
deal."
gonna be?" And you said, "I don't
Thursday or
know."
Friday, it's gonna be there.
Huh?
There'll be a 20-yard dumpster there Friday or
Okay.
Thursday.
All right. And then your contractor's gonna have it fixed by when?
I'd have to go, I got friends that are contractors licensed. I'd have to set all that up and folks to come down here and pull a permit.
Well, Mr. Hall, you knew this was happening today. You got notice from Ms. Burnett a long time before now to come to be here, and so you knew this was happening. You knew you were in court a couple weeks back because the judge caught you living in the house that was condemned, and y'all weren't supposed to be living in it, and y'all pled
Well-
guilty to that. Don't well me now, you did it, right?
Yes, sir, it's true.
So the question is how come you don't have a plan here tonight?
Well, it's kind of unexpectedly. I've been working 7 days a week just because I got fines from y'all, and the judge gave me to the 15th to get the yard cleaned up this
Okay.
month. And
15th of what month?
July.
Okay, when did the judge give you that?
Last time I was in court, she won't see me till the 15th.
Okay, that was a month ago?
Sir?
Was that a month ago?
No, just, I think, last week, before,
Okay.
after.
But you don't have the dumpster out there yet, and the judge told
I've been working, and I have no excuse, but I got to work to make the money to get it
Has she
with.
put you in jail yet on any of this?
Sir?
Has the judge put you in jail on any of this yet?
On this here?
Yeah.
If I don't have it done by the 15th, I think she's going to give me 90 days.
Okay. All right, the board may have some questions to you after we hear from anybody else that may want to speak about this, okay? Don't go anywhere, just, you can have a seat back, and if they have any questions of you, they'll ask you, okay?
All right.
Is there anyone else here who'd like to provide public comment with regard to the property and the cleanup issue before the board? Come on up.
Hi, I'm Lita Morris,
All
live
right,
at 109 Alicia May
One more
Drive.
time, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Alita Morris.
Hey,
I
Ms.
live at
Morris.
109 Alicia May Drive.
Perfect, thank you.
So I am right next door to this structure.
Okay.
Rats come off this big, well, about that big, not counting the tail, from that structure onto my front porch. The debris that's all over there keeps getting scattered when the wind blows, a storm comes up, a dog comes around. Dogs are allowed to run loose around there. I've got a fence around mine for my dogs, but I let them go out, walk them every so often, besides that. Anyway, with the debris that's there could take flight and be in anybody's yard, anywhere, if it's allowed to remain and not be removed. There's no electrical there now, thanks to Miss Cassie and whoever else had involvement in that. And thank goodness, I was concerned about fire, because things can happen, and if it's that much damage, some sets that off. And my house and the house on the other side of it are so close that all 3 units could go up. And not to mention the ones behind it, and there are trees, huge trees, front and backyard of where the structure is. Very concerned about that, and the closest fire hydrant is only one of them, mind you, over 500 feet from and across Shallow Road from my house. So if they have to be, fire department has to be called, there's no way they could contain that with at least 4 units go up all at once. I'm very concerned about that. I hate the thought of people having to get moved out of their house, but I understand, and they know they've had all this time to clean it up, fix it up, do something with it. I see no reason and no excuse. It's not my place to put anybody out or anything like that. I'm concerned. I want to voice my concern, and I hope that you guys can see, living in that situation, it's not fun. Not to mention all the noises and stuff. That's irrelevant, just about the structure.
Well, you say what you want to say.
It's upsetting. It's very upsetting, and I'd like to have something done.
Okay.
somehow. I appreciate the time.
Yes, ma'am.
I've got a question. This has been going on for some time.
Mhm.
Have you seen any discernible, substantive, significant change other than it just gets worse? Has it ever gotten any better?
After notification, after they come out and they let them know whatever's going on. Of course, when it first started, the city would say something to just about everybody on our road about some point, just to make it a point so that they weren't pinned out, alone. And so everybody does some little whatever it is in their yard. They do something as soon as other people starts doing it. As soon as we quit or we're done, caught up with whatever it was had pointed out, they quit. We've got at least one of the people that lives there, and he talked about it. He's right. The guy brings in a bunch of stuff. But yes, they cleaned it up. And within 2 days, it's right back up all over again. And stuff may be moved, relocated in the front yard, over to the side of the yard, or over to the back of the yard. It's still there all this time. The city came out to do water at one point. I recall this happened. They refused to go out to the backyard to work on their water because they were concerned about getting snake bit, because you can hardly get through there with all the stuff. You can't see under your feet a lot of times. I hate to be like this, to feel like this towards my neighbors. I like to see them be able to do better.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. I have some questions of the afterwards, and if they do, they'll call them, okay?
Is there anyone else here who desires to make any public comment with regard to the property condition at 111 Alicia May Drive, Brandon? Anyone else? Anyone else? Mr. Mayor, I'd ask that the public hearing be closed.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. All right, public hearing's closed. What's the will of the board?
I make a motion to go based on the recommendation of community development to declare this a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare.
And if the owners do not do so themselves within 10 days, that the city by contractor avoids every form.
I don't know that we need to give them 10 days if we have to. I mean, we've given them 3 years already.
Should it be immediate? You're asking for immediate
Sure.
action?
What's going to change if it hadn't changed in 3 years?
All right, so effective tomorrow? All right, David, do you
I
read?
want to second that, but I would like to ask about this judge thing, 15th. Is that any merit to any of this?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know the city court, so I really don't know the status of that case. What's the deal with the judge?
What was the question?
Well, I'm ready to second the motion's been made, but I heard tonight that the judge had set a date by July 15th, and I just didn't know how all this connects together.
Mr. Paris, the last court date that I attended, the judge gave him until the 15th to completely pay his fines. That's all that I'm aware of.
I second the motion.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we've got a motion, a second. You need any more verbiage in that, Mr. Baker? Okay, if you don't, all right. All in favor, say,
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mayor. I want to just make sure that this is based on the information received by the governing authority from the Community Development Department, which is appended to the minutes and incorporated therein, including documents, among other things, that the dwelling and premises were determined to be unsafe and unfit for human occupancy and dangerous structures, and were condemned by the city's notice of condemnation order of repair vacate on June 2, 2026, with occupancy prohibited, roof damage and the failure to cover by tarp, open exterior wall and building envelope defects and interior conditions, including exposed insulation and rafters, exposed and improperly installed wiring, ceiling openings directly to the exterior, and rodent infestation because of the continuing accumulation of rubbish and garbage and junk and inoperable vehicles and junk appliances and equipment on the premises. And with regard to the resident building permit that was previously issued for roof repair, which was revoked on June 17, 2026, and because of the conditions and the work at the property exceeded the permitted scope, such that no valid permit authorizes the work necessary to render the the structure safe and habitable. The municipal water usage records for the account serving the property reflecting the continued residential consumption of water after the property was posted for condemnation and prohibited occupancy on or about June 3rd, 2026. And all matters and things presented at the public hearing, together with the memo from the department and all pictures and photos and documents and things, including those taken today. That would be it. And finding all of that as the condition of the property in its current condition constitutes a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare of the community, and in accordance with 21-19-11-1, directs that the property be cleaned if the owner does not do so himself. They have given no time, so Mr. Harold, you get to beat the board. So if you better get out there and get out what you want gone, because work's fixing to get started. And that would be it, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we've got a motion by Mr. Chris Benson, a second by Mr. David Ferris. Any further discussion or comment? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. All right, thank you, board.
Thank you, board.
That's the question.
Good evening. Mayor, board, take all four together? All right. Number one, consideration to approve a salary increase for the following officers effective July 6th in recognition of their successful completion of the CERT-C Police Academy and to establish their rates of pay in accordance with the attached memo. Trevor Phillips, John Marco Kane, and Hayden Gibbons. Number two, consideration to hire Chris Watkins as paid part-time patrol officer effective July 6th and set his rate of pay in accordance with the memo. And if he would stand. Number three, consideration to accept a donation in the amount of $2,500 from Beth's Oil LLC. Number four, consideration for the following officers to travel for training. Officer Jonathan McCardle to travel to Carthage, Mississippi to participate in a TASER instructor course on September 15 and 16. All associated travel and meal expenses will be fully funded by the department's training budget. Officer Charlie Scoggins and Sergeant Garrett Wells to travel to Camp Shelby, Mississippi to participate in a tactical arrest and control procedure course from July 13 to 17. There is no charge for this course. Sergeant Connor Smith, Officer Seth Chambers, and Officer Jamarcus James to travel to Region 9, Hines Behavioral Health Services in Hines, Mississippi to participate in a CIT course from July 27th to the 31st. There is no charge for this course. And Sergeant John Dragoo and Officer Lane McTaggart to travel to Jones County College to participate in a bomb and explosives detection training session on July 22 and 23. There is no charge for this course. Thank you, board.
Good evening. I'm going to take all four of mine together, sir. Item number one is consideration to accept the donation from the amount of $2,500 from Beth Oil LLC. Item number two is request consideration to rescind action taken on June 15th, 2026 board meeting, item J2, for the purchase of the fire hose due to incorrect price and approve the correct price from Delta Fire and Safety in the amount of $16,532.10 plus shipping. As the lowest quote we had, the other quote come from NAFCO for $17,706. Item number three is request consideration to rescind to be destroyed for the air packs that were approved on June 1st in agenda items and have an intergovernmental transfer to sell to Richland Fire Department in accordance with Mississippi Code 31-7-13. Item number four is request consideration to approve the quote on loose equipment for the new ladder truck and engine from Sunbelt Fire in the amount of $57,581.00 plus shipping and that's the lowest and best price we received. The second quote was received from Delta Fire and Safety in the amount of $57,717.85.
What is the purchase price, $1? Do y'all have an,
Yes, sir, we're going to do that $1.
is that, and we have to have a memo, like a kind of quasi-agreement, they're willing to pay and we're willing to sell? It's all a fiction, because we're giving it from one governmental entity to the next, but that's what it's got to be, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, board, so you're going to vote on 1 through 4, and we're going to accept the monthly reports from June. There's a report. Motion to approve by Mr. Lou Coker. Second, Mr. Jared Crane. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, board. Thank you, chief. Let's go ahead and take care of the board. I'd like to ask to be in executive session, make that determination, and we'll do that after. I'll come out and announce that after we take care of swearing in these new officers, okay? So is there a motion by Mr. Lou Coker to determine the need? Second by Ms. Sharon Mormack. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. All right. Chief, you would get them down?